Hey, hey, hey. So excited to start up another round of daily doses of true wealth. So if you're around, jump on, say hello. I last week did 5 days of daily wealth, so I want to continue. Today we're talking about the inconvenience and discomfort of the truth and what to do to bring yourself into greater alignment with your soul. So why is it inconvenient? So the thing with the truth and with checking in with your soul and your intuition is it's rarely convenient and it's rarely comfortable. So one example would be, for example, for me, having invested numerous times in different mentors, it never was the exact right time, nor did I have the exact right amount of money in savings or anywhere really to make the investment. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to your daily dose of true wealth. I'm talking about the inconvenience of the truth and how uncomfortable it can be at times as well. So I was sharing the story of the numerous occasions I have invested in my own personal growth and mentors and how they have never come at the perfect time, nor have I ever had the perfect amount of money ready to invest. And so I had to trust that this was the right decision for me. It aligned with my soul, with my highest expression of me, and take that leap of faith that investing into this program, into this coach, into my own personal development would pay off, because the whole thing with intuition and with your soul, it never gives you the guarantee. It never shows you what happens next, right? It doesn't say, okay, so once you invest and then this will happen and this will happen and this will happen. It only asks you in that moment to take that specific action, and you have to trust your intuition and trust your soul that it's guiding you exactly where you need to be without having proof of your outcome, without having proof that it's going to take you exactly where you want to go. And that is why it's so inconvenient and so uncomfortable, because it can be really scary. Another example is speaking in truth. So really looking around your life and where are the areas of your life that you kind of downplay or maybe tell white lies, or don't maybe call yourself out as often as maybe necessary. So where are areas where you're trying to make it seem like things are okay when it's not? And what happens when you do that is you deny yourself the opportunity to grow, to make changes, to learn, and to perhaps pivot or change directions, because you're becoming aware that this isn't working instead of trying to pretend it's fine, it's okay. And in that space, we're not really open to imagination or creativity or different opportunities. And then the third area, so we talked about money, investments, and conversations, your own personal, what you're telling yourself and how that might not be actually in alignment with truth. And then the third area is with actions. So how it can be inconvenient and uncomfortable is often you are feeling a nudge, a sort of internal calling to do something, and it's often, again, very rarely is it going to be convenient or comfortable. So for example, you wake up at 4:40 in the morning, and instead of, again, denying, second guessing, analyzing, talking yourself out of it, no, I need to get up. Something needs to come through me, whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't need to know what it is, but I need to follow and act on my intuition. And if I'm awake, there's something I need to do. I don't need to know what. Or there's an event you want to go to that maybe is all the way across town during the worst time of day to be driving across town. But you know, because you were called and that you feel that longing, that pull to go to this event, even though it's inconvenient, even though it's uncomfortable, you have to honor and go to that event. So it's getting to that place where you stop the analysis, you stop the second guessing, and you stop talking yourself out of it, and you act immediately on your intuition. And in the beginning, this might be some trial and error, because you might not totally be and have a great maybe relationship with your intuition. You may not totally trust your intuition. And so the process of becoming more intimate with your intuition is doing exactly what you feel called to do in that moment. And then afterwards, you can decide, was that my intuition? Was that distraction? And then over time, you can come into better alignment with what truly is your intuition and trusting it every time and acting on it. And the more you trust it and act on it, the more it will show up for you even stronger. So some ways to come into better alignment with your soul, for one, is to start to clean up your act. So this relates to all the areas I discussed of how the truth can be inconvenient, is to look at what you're telling yourself, what you're choosing to believe, what conversations you're having, and where do you need to clean up your act? Where do you need to actually come into better alignment with the truth? So not being so caught up in having to look a certain way or seeking approval, validation, or praise, and really honestly saying this is what's going on for you, whether, and again, it could be a relationship where you need to start raising the standards and discuss what's not acceptable, put in some clear boundaries. So that's the first part, is to really start to clean up your act. Any area of your life where you need to start to take away the rose-colored glasses and tell the truth. The second part would be to start to practice what I call the tone of truth, and that is checking yourself when you say something, where does it resonate in your body? And then also when you listen to yourself, do you actually believe yourself? Or do you feel like you're trying to convince yourself or convince someone or be someone that you're not or be something that you're not? And so really getting into connection with what does truth actually feel like for me? And I like to test it by just telling yourself, okay, if I was just telling someone my name, my birthday, the color of my eyes, something that had no emotional charge, I'm saying it in a way that I actually believe because it is true. I was born in that day. That is my name. And that's the same way for you to check other things that you're saying. Does it have that same feeling of truth? Like there's no convincing, there's no anger, there's no defensiveness, there's no pressure. It's just, that's the way it is. So that's the second part. And then the third part is to, going back to what I mentioned before, is to act immediately on your intuition and start to keep track of what's happening. So you start to become more intimate with your intuition. And along those same lines, this ties into all three, is really in your every area of your life to start to raise the standards in what you believe and what you say and who you interact with and your boundaries and your behavior and your energy of what you are putting out there and how you're showing up, and just really raising the standards all around so that you are constantly in alignment with your soul. Are there any questions? That was super fast. So I would love to hear from you. What are some things you can do today to help you really act on your intuition, be in your truth, and clean up your act and raise your standards? All right, you can post below if you have comments or questions later. And I do have a guided visualization below, which helps you connect to your true wealth. So you can listen to that and really come into more intimacy and connection with what that feels like for you. And of course, you can always reach out to me if you have questions about how I work, if you're interested in doing this work. And to me, this work of true wealth is honestly coming into deeper connection with your soul, yourself, your intuition, your truth. And what that means is doing a lot of cleaning up. So really coming into a place of deep self-acceptance, self-worth, and self-trust, raising your standards for how you show up, what you put out there, what you say, what you stand for. And when you do all of that, your business flourishes, your relationships flourish, your health flourishes, because you honor yourself first and you value yourself first. And that's where it all starts. All right, talk to you soon.